Am I the a-hole for giving my ex a choice between 50-50 custody or 100%? I'm going through a crappy divorce right now. I've been married to my wife for 10 years and we have 2 kids. I love my kids and I have been their primary parent since they were born, after the maternity leave obviously. My wife had a job that required some travel and that I work from home, so it just made sense. Even during COVID, I gave her my home office and worked from the dining room so she could have a more professional Zoom meeting setup. Good for you. Sounds like you respected your wife. Our marriage didn't work out. There was no infidelity or any kind of abuse. It just fizzled out. Her lawyer convinced her to go for primary custody with child support and spousal support. He was not very bright. I make less than her, and she's barely a parent. You don't have to throw insults, bud, but I get where you're coming from. I spoke with my lawyer and offered only 2 choices: 50-50 custody with no child support, or she gets 100% custody and child support based on government charts. I see where you're coming from. I don't really feel like you should have your kids be a bargaining chip. I really think that if they do make more and you're the primary parent, how it typically works is the person who makes more money has to pay the person who makes less money, especially if they take care of the kids most of the time. So they would owe you child support. I can work from anywhere and she knows it. I can move to Portugal and work from the beach while enjoying amazing food. She is now saying that I'm weaponizing the kids and that she can't do everything for the kids and keep her job and keep her life going. I said that she could if she accepted 50-50 custody. She said that her having to get her own place with room for kids was going to be really expensive and she would think about it. This is ongoing, so I won't include too many details, but my parents own the apartment where we live. We pay them rent. I've already spoken with them, and they will help me keep the apartment so the kids have a solid place. I don't actually want to give up custody of my kids. I just want my wife to understand what she's actually asking for. Am I the a-hole for giving that ultimatum? Yeah, you are, dude. I don't think for a second that you would be the a-hole if you were telling her, hey, we need to figure out how this is going to work without me giving you money because you make more than me. It doesn't make sense, especially since you do not want to take care of the kids full time. You want to keep your job. The only way that this makes sense is a 50-50 split where most likely the kids still live with me because I have the apartment. She's even saying in her own words that she needs to go find a place, and if she found a place that actually had room for the kids, it would cost a crazy amount. But hey, that's what the child support would be, right? You would have them 100% of the time and you would get child support. But I really don't think that you need to use your kids as something against your ex-wife, right? It really does suck that their lawyer was trying to get them to be like, yo, take full custody and take child support from somebody who makes less than you, that works from home and that really couldn't freaking figure it out. But it also sucks for you not to give them a little bit of leniency, saying like, hey, let's have a real discussion here about all of this. If it's an amicable split, then there's no reason for child support because you are both taking care of the kids. You are both paying for them to go wherever they need to go and get whatever they need to get because you guys are still parenting together. You guys can split and still co-parent. That's a very normal thing. It really sucks that you decided to give them an ultimatum because now they're going to have to go out and really like lawyer up and really figure out how to fight you because nobody wants an ultimatum. People want a discussion. It does suck that it came with you with like a really, really intense first step, 100% with child support, even though you make less. But if she did take on the children 100% of the time, then you would give child support. It's just how that works. My little brother lived with us and he had a different dad than me. So they were split 50-50 custody. And until he was 18, his dad had to give my mom child support. Our little brother lived with us every day during the week because when kids are going to school, you kind of want them to have a solid base of operation and you want to make sure that they have stability and security. So it really made sense for him to go over to his dad's pretty much every other weekend. They split holidays and then she gets the money. But as soon as that stopped happening, as soon as my little brother was living with his dad full time, roughly around 12 years old, he stopped giving child support because it's wrong. He was taking care of the kid most of the time. Why should he have to give child support? But they were able to talk about it and do this very amicably. Money was taken away when he wasn't able to afford it. Everybody understood. It wasn't a big deal. So it really does suck that you gave them the ultimatum. I'm going to say you're the a-hole, bud. You shouldn't have done that. You need to support your kids. You need to support your ex-wife, especially if it's just something that fizzled out. They got bad advice. Give them good advice. Let's read some comments. Why aren't you asking for full custody? She can pay child support for you and it's cheaper than what it would cost for her to have a multiple bedroom apartment. She could just get a studio or something. OP actually answered this. That's what we had said was fair before her lawyer asked her into making stupid demands. Aw, that's actually really rough. Because it sounds like you had it handled before this lawyer got into it and was all like, you need to ask for money. Why? why? This could have worked out so good. Then somebody says, then that should still be on the table, at least from your side. And then OP says, they said no because I would have 100% done it. That sucks. It sounds like OP genuinely did what they could to say, like, I'll take care of the kids 100% of the time. Basically what I've already been doing according to this post. All you have to do is do child support. Do you not want to do that? You make more money. Our kids need to be taken care of. One commenter says, they're effing morons. With her kind of work, she should give you primary custody and take the kids on weekends and during the weeks where she actually is at home. If she had stuck to being amicable about it, I bet you would have been reasonably accommodating towards her schedule. OP says, yep, that was the plan before her lawyer convinced her otherwise. It really sucks that it just seems to be the lawyer's fault. She travels. She does things for work that makes sense for her not to have full custody. 50-50 just makes sense with them living in a place where they're already comfortable. There's already room for them. The more I see this, I still think it sucks to make an ultimatum. It really does. You don't need to give people ultimatums, but it really feels unfair to you that she is just not looking at her situation in like a smart way. She travels. She doesn't have time for the kids like that. You work from home. You have time for the kids. Nothing really has to change. She just has to find her own place. I'd love to know what you guys think.